First thought that I had was maybe it was a bar girl, took the wrong guy home. He was trying to do something she didn't want to do. 26th in Thailand, Thailand Rob. Everything that I'm getting ready to tell you is the truth, and only the name, and the names have not been changed because one, you know my name, and two, I don't know hers. But everything I'm getting ready to tell you is a true story that I've been waiting for over a year to figure out how to tell you. But since it's pouring down rain, you can hear it, I hope, and the Wi-Fi is temporarily cut off because it doesn't have to do with the rain, but sometimes we lose power here. If there's wind with the rain, I digress. Right now we have power. I don't have Wi-Fi, so I have a little bit of time to tell you this story. I guess around 2 years ago, wow, before the COVID curfews and all took place, bars were still open till 12 or 1, and then they started putting in all the curfews, and I have no idea if you guys can hear me out there. As I was saying, a couple of years ago, I was coming home around midnight. As memory goes, it's somewhere around midnight. 12:30, something like that. I'm heading home, I've got my backpack on. Any of you that have ever met me, you know I carry around a backpack, usually because I'm carrying a tripod and the camera. It's just easier to carry it that way. But I'm coming down the road, I'm heading home, and from the right side of the road, out of nowhere, a girl comes running out into the middle of the road screaming with her hands like this, like stop, 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 stop. What you do? And the first thing that pops in my mind when you see something like this is there's been an accident, there's something wrong, someone's hurt, and I've experienced other stories that on other rainy days I'll tell you that completely baffled my mind. This could happen in any country, but when it happens in Thailand, it freaks me out because I'm just not used to it. So she runs out into the street in front of the motorbike while I'm doing, I don't know, I'm doing 30 kilometers, you know, I'm just cruising along, and all of a sudden this Thai woman runs out in the middle of the street right in front of my bike, screaming to stop. I stop, and when I stop, she's like, help, 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 help. And I'm like, okay, so what? Then I see a guy coming out of an apartment, not chasing her, but chasing her in a non-violent way. He was coming after her, and she was like, just take me, take me, take me, take me. And I said, oh, okay. So I turned the motorbike around, backpack still on, and she jumps on the bike. She gets on the bike, and I'm waiting there like, what's really going on? I mean, this is all happening within seconds. And he comes up and he puts his hand on her, and I went into survival mode, and I'm like, hey buddy, don't be touching me or her or anybody. And I'm not a big guy, but it was just reaction. I was just reacting to a hostile situation. And she was just like, go, 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 go. Tears are flowing, and she's hitting my back, go, 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 go. And he's calling out her name, which I can't remember her name. So I'm thinking, okay, not a big deal. I'll just go down the road. I'll get her to some Thai people at a 7-Eleven, and they'll take care of her. Okay, that's what I thought was going to happen. That's not what happened. I take her down to the 7-Eleven, and I stop, and she's like, no, 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 keep going, keep going. It's 12:30 or something in the morning. I'm like, where are we going? Plus, if I remember correctly, it was in the beginning of COVID where you're not supposed to be driving late at night. I just don't remember the exact date. So I think the curfew at that time might have been 12 o'clock, so now I'm breaking curfew if I get caught driving a motorbike. She's on the back, so I take the backpack off and I turn it around where I'm carrying the backpack on the front, and she's on the back. And she's holding me, and she's got one hand on my shoulder and the other one around my waist, and she is just shaking and crying and shaking and crying. And I don't see any signs of physical abuse. I don't. Of course, I can't see her because she's sitting right behind me now, right? And it's 12:30 in the morning or whatever. And she asked me to go up to the road, and then she says, turn left. Oh boy. When she said turn left, that means we're heading to Patong or somewhere. Now, she hasn't told me where we're going, so I just started driving. Thank goodness there was gas in the motorbike. Meanwhile, the guy that was in the street, he did not take up pace on his motorbike and start to follow me quickly if he had a motorbike, because I kept looking in the rear view mirrors to see someone coming after me. This is not my normal thing, is to, you know, rescue a damsel in distress in the middle of the night in Thailand when I don't know what's going on at all. So we're heading up the road, and I'm saying, where are we going? And all she kept saying was thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and crying and just holding on to me and shaking and crying. And yeah, I mean, it blew my mind. But we keep going. We go up the hill to Patong. We go down into Patong. We get into Patong. There's a round circle in Patong where the dolphin statue is. You guys that have been here know what I'm talking about. So we make that left, and then I think, okay, can't be too much farther. You wouldn't think. We hit second road. You got beach road, that's the first road on the beach. Then the second road, which is another one-way road, which is second road. Then you go all the way down until you can make another left, which goes on to third road. And third road goes both ways. You know, it's not a one-way street. So I'm driving and I'm driving and I'm driving, and I'm starting to wonder how long this is going to be. Where are we going? And I had no fear at that time. I'm going to interject right now. What happened to me in Pattaya is by being pickpocketed or something like that. Doesn't typically happen here from what I've heard. And I didn't think anything about that. But in retrospect, I had a stranger on the back of my bike taking me to a strange place where I didn't know, where there could be a bunch of people waiting for me. You know, it's just one of those things. But I've never had a problem in Thailand ever like that, so I didn't have any fear about it. But now I'm on third road in Patong. Anyone that lives over here in Kamala knows that's a long damn drive. It's not 12:30 anymore. Now it's about 1 o'clock in the morning, and she's saying Leo Sai, Leo Kwa, and left and right. And I turn down this road. I don't know where I'm going. We get to this condo, and it's got a glass door. She says here, and she gets off the bike, and she reaches in her pocket, and she pulls out like 40 or 60 baht and hands it to me, I guess just for gas. And then she runs into this condo apartment. I'm thinking condo because it had a magnetic key. I saw her use a magnetic key, and the door unlocked, and she went inside, and that was the last I ever saw of her. And I turned the motorbike around, trying to think in my mind to make sure I could get back and where I was going. And I wasn't shaking, but I was shook up from the whole situation. And a motorbike flew by me heading that way. I can't swear that it was the guy chasing her, but I can tell you, if he didn't have a key to get in that building, he wasn't going to get in there. But the whole trip that we took, she just kept saying that she was sorry. She was in horrific amount of tears and very upset. So I head home. I get here, and it's just one of those things that you can't stop thinking about. Like, what did I just see? How did I just see it? As a matter of fact, looking back on it right now, I don't even know. It just blows my mind because I've never seen that happen. Now, this is nowhere near a bar. This was a residential area, so it wasn't like a girl ran out of a bar. And the first thought that I had was maybe it was a bar girl took the wrong guy home. He was trying to do something she didn't want to do, and then she was just like trying to run and get away from maybe this crazy guy. I come to find out later, they're actually a couple. So it was a domestic quarrel, dispute, or whatever you want to talk about it. But as far as I know, I haven't seen her since. And if I have, I didn't recognize her because she was on the back of the bike. I can't remember what she looks like. I know I've seen him because I remember looking at him and telling him, I cussed at him. I said something like, you know, hey buddy, back off, or something like, I don't know what I said, but he didn't respond. Like, he didn't like throw a punch at me. But from what I've heard, they've been back together like maybe like after a week of that incident. I heard that they've got back together because I do know their neighbor. I found out that one of their neighbors is a friend of mine. And she told me the story that, yeah, they had a fight that night and she didn't know it was me that picked her up. But that's just a quick story. That's just one of the stories that I wanted to tell you. Any of you that have ever watched the Simon from Land of Smiles, he tells you these stories like this. He tells them better than I do, 100%. By the way, he'll be back probably within a year, just letting you know. But he's a great storyteller. I'm not that great of a storyteller, but I wanted to tell you this story for a long time. I just didn't know how to really set it up until the internet went out and the rain started pouring down and the camera has a charged battery, and here we are. So that's a story about that. Started out crazy, got even crazier. I got home around, oh my God, 1:30, quarter till 2 in the morning. I was worried about getting stopped by the police, being after a curfew in the beginnings of COVID or whatever point in time that we were in. But it appears it all worked out. And the shocking part was that she actually paid me for doing it. I didn't expect compensation, but she just threw money in my hand and bolted off. I mean, I told her, I was like, I don't need this, but she took it anyway. But I do want to say that now I would be very nervous after being in Pattaya a little bit for someone to run out in the street and jump on the back of my bike and me just randomly going off to an area that I don't know. I would not ever do that in Pattaya. I tell you that for sure. Nobody's getting close to me or on the back of my bike. I don't have a bike in Pattaya, but you know what I'm saying? And that's the end of this story. There's more stories I want to tell you, but I have to figure out if I can tell you or not because of legalities. But this one, there's no names involved, so we're good on that one. Guys, hope your day is not as rainy as this one. Hope you have Wi-Fi and power, because that's really nice nowadays when you don't have Wi-Fi. There's not much to do except clean your house. And I don't like cleaning my house that much, but hey, gotta do what you gotta do, unless you got a camera and make a video. And on that note, I'm gonna stop rambling. We'll see you guys later. Have a good one. I love you guys. Bye.